Kenny with Just the Right Angle, and coming at you live with an update on issues that affect you. You can catch me at Just the Right Angle on Rumble. It's my primary way of informing the folks of what's going on. Also, YouTube, Keep Arkansas Legal. This will also be made onto Podbean as a recording, which you can listen to later on at your own convenience. Probably the biggest story that is out today is lots of stuff has happened since the weekend. Great job for the fact that Donald Trump was credentialed without any incident. As folks know, during the last January 6th, there was an FBI Ray Epps false flag operation where a lot of people were ended up being illegally jailed due to efforts to put them in jail. Ashley Babbitt was murdered on January 6th by a coward who should have never even been in the state capitol to begin with, let alone being a member of security. Lots of other issues that have been going on regarding J6, but this J6 was nothing happened. And that is a very good thing. We don't want chaos and all kinds of other violent acts going on. But now what we're at is an effort to try, and there's a lot of people that were in basically part of the problem when it came to stifling freedom in the United States, and now they are Johnny-come-latelys. They have supposedly seen the light and are now pretending to be people that are going to be nice and fair regarding the freedom, in particular freedom of speech. And one of the biggest culprits of this issue is Mark Zuckerberg, who is the supposed head of Facebook. I don't think he actually is. I think he's just a puppet. I think I'd heard that he had stolen Facebook from some twins regarding the buildup of that, but that's all in the past now. What really matters is the fact that he recently put out a video claiming that he was going to be nice and that they weren't going to do any more of the censorship that they did years ago, which sometimes would ruin people's, not just stifle speech, but in many cases ruin people's financial system, because there were people that were making money off of the online issue. I myself being one of them. Years ago, I made I was making a few $100s via YouTube videos. When Facebook it out, I would sometimes share information, as many others did, regarding what was going on. Videos regarding politics in Arkansas, some national news, that sort of thing. And I was actually shadow banned. I've been to Facebook jail a few times. I've been I was making money on YouTube and I was demonetized from YouTube. I'll get to that in a little bit. But Facebook would do its share of oftentimes blocking some of the things I would say, as well as some of the posts from similar people. And most of you know this. And I'm going to play kind of an example of what we were having to deal with. This was a hearing by Senator Hawley regarding Facebook, and when they had a whistleblower had to come forth regarding some of the censorship that they were doing. This is by Bongino Reports. You can see that in Rumble. I'm just going to play this for y'all while I share this link out for others. In just a moment.
Moderation, I'm talking about individuals, websites, hashtags, phrases to ban. Is it your testimony that you do not communicate with Twitter or Google about content moderation, about individuals, websites, phrases, hashtags to ban? Just yes or no. Do you communicate with Twitter or Google about coordinating your policies in this way?
Senator, we do not coordinate our policies.
Do your Facebook content moderation teams communicate with their counterparts at Twitter or Google?
Senator, I'm not aware of anything specific, but I think it would be probably pretty normal for people to talk to their peers and colleagues in the industry.
It would be normal, but you don't do it?
No, I'm saying that I'm not aware of any particular conversation, but I would expect that some level of communication probably happens. But that's different from coordinating what our policies are or our responses in specific instances.
Well, fortunately, I understand that the task platform is searchable. So will you provide a list of every mention of Google or Twitter from the tasks platform to this committee?
Senator, that's something that I can follow up with you and your team after on.
Well, yes or no, I'm sure you can follow up with the list, but why don't you commit while I've got you here under oath? It's so much better to do this under oath. Will you commit now to providing a list from the tasks platform of every mention of Google or Twitter?
Senator, respectfully, I'm without having looked into this, I'm not aware of any sensitivity that might exist around that. So I don't think it would be wise for me to commit to that right now, but I would be happy to follow.
How many items on the task platform reflect that Facebook, Twitter, and Google are sharing information about websites or hashtags or platforms that they want to suppress?
Senator, I do not know.
Will you provide a list of every website and hashtag that Facebook content moderation teams have discussed banning on the task platform?
Senator, again, I would be happy to follow up with you or your team to discuss further how we might move forward on that. But without
will you commit to it here? Senator Cruz and Senator Lee both asked you for lists of individuals, websites, entities that have been subject to content moderation. You expressed doubt about whether any such information exists, but you've also now said that the task website, you've acknowledged the task platform exists, that it is searchable. So will you commit to providing the information you have logged on the task website about content moderation that your company has undertaken? Yes or no?
Senator, I think it would be better to follow up once I've had a chance to discuss with my team what any sensitivity around that would be that might prevent the kind of sharing that you're talking about. But once I've done that, I would be happy to follow up.
All right. So you won't commit to do it here. We could, of course, subpoena this information, but I'd much rather get it from you voluntarily. But I think let everybody take note that Mr. Zuckerberg has now repeatedly refused to provide information that he knows that he has and has now acknowledged that he has, that Tasks has under oath. Let me switch to a different topic. Mr. Zuckerberg, tell me about Sintra. What is the Facebook internal tool called Sintra?
Senator, I'm not aware of any tool with that name.
Well, let me see if this refreshes your memory. There's a demonstrative now over my shoulder. Sintra is a tool that Facebook uses to track its users, not just on Facebook, but across the entire internet. Sintra tracks different profiles that a user visits, their message recipients, their linked accounts, the pages they visit around the web that have Facebook buttons. Sintra also uses behavioral data to monitor users' accounts, even if those accounts are registered under a different name. And you can see a shot here, a screenshot provided to us of the Sintra platform. We blocked out the user's name in the interest of privacy, although you can see this individual's birth date and age, when they first started using Facebook, their last login, as well as all manner of trackings. How many different devices have they used to access Facebook? How many different accounts are associated with their name? What accounts have they visited? What photos have they tagged? And on and on and on. Mr. Zuckerberg, how many accounts in the United States have been subject to review and shut down through Sintra?
Senator, I do not know because I'm not actually familiar with the name of that tool. I'm sure that we have tools that help us with our platform and community integrity work. But I am not familiar with that name.
Do you have a tool that does exactly what I've described and that you can see here over my shoulder? Or are you saying that doesn't exist?
Senator, I'm saying that I'm not familiar with it and that I'd be happy to follow up. And
by the way, these meetings are held well in advance. So when these people claim that, oh, I didn't know, I'll need to give you that information, 9 times out of 10, they are lying to you. They have the information, but they don't want to give it. Again, a guy like this could have easily said, oh, yes, here it is. Or just flat out say, no, I don't want to give it to you.
and get you and your team the information that you would like on this. But I'm limited in what I can, what I'm familiar with and can share today.
It's always amazing to me, Mr. Chairman, how many people before this committee suddenly develop amnesia. Maybe it is something about the air in the room. Let me ask you this. When a Facebook employee accesses a user's private information, like their private messages or their personally identifiable data, is a record made of that, Mr. Zuckerberg?
Sorry, Senator, can you repeat that?
Is a record made of any time a Facebook employee accesses a user's private information, personally identifiable information, for example, messages? Is a record made anytime a Facebook employee does that?
Senator, I believe so.
Does it trigger an audit?
Senator, I think sometimes it may.
How many audits have been conducted?
Senator, I do not know the exact number of audits.
Can you give me a list?
Senator, we can follow up on that to see what would be useful here.
Will you? I'm almost finished, Mr. Chairman. Will you commit to giving us a list of the number of times Facebook employees have accessed users' personal account information without their knowledge? Yes or no?
Senator, we should follow up on what would be useful here. It is, of course, in the operations of the company, if someone reports something, sometimes necessary for people at the company to go review and understand the context around what is happening when someone reports something. So this is fairly frequent and is a matter of course. We do have security systems that can detect anomalous patterns to flag. But we should follow up in more detail on what you're interested in.
Mr. Chairman, I'll just say in closing that what we have here is clear evidence of coordination between Twitter, Google, and Facebook. Mr. Zuckerberg knows he has the tools to track this, but he either doesn't remember or won't commit to letting us see it. We have evidence of Facebook tracking its own users all across the web. Mr. Zuckerberg won't answer questions about it, can't remember the name, isn't sure if the tool is deployed in this way, and won't commit to giving us basic information. I submit to you that this is both totally unacceptable and totally predictable, because it is exactly what these tech companies have done to the American people and to Congress for years now, which is why it is time we took action against these modern-day robber barons. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There you go. There you go. Hold on, let me cancel this before it starts up. Yep, that's the Zuckerberg guy. So now Zuckerberg has come by and says we're going to get rid of the fact checkers and we're going to stop going after certain people regarding their posts. That's what he claims. I don't believe it. I think they're going to do it in a more shadowy, cryptic way. And I don't really trust the other guy, Elon Musk. And for that matter, some of these other big tech folks. I urge people to go to the alternatives, Truth Social, MeWe, which is an alternative to Facebook, Gab. Parler, I don't know. It used to be up and then it crashed. I think they deliberately crashed Parler. So I don't know its status. I just found one recently that I'm on called Rabilo. I'm on there as Just the Right Angle. And that's one reason why I promote these new alternatives, is because they, people are realizing, hey, these people are scamming us. They're claiming that you can post anything, and then you find out later on, oh, wait a minute, my post isn't getting online. Or like in the case of YouTube has either blocked some of my posts or has censored it, putting things like age restriction. It forces you to log in. As a matter of fact, let me show some of that. Let me see if I can show some of the examples of that. If I can share, I can share this tab. Let me see if it shows. No, it doesn't show on here. Here, I'll post this. Share this tab instead. Here we go. Content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches change the outcome of the U.S. 2020 election is not allowed on YouTube. So this is what YouTube did and is still doing to us. I forget who owns YouTube, but I do know that there are others like Facebook and Twitter before Elon Musk bought it were doing the same thing. They were finding cowardly ways to censor people without them even letting them know about it oftentimes. And I'm posting these images on the Facebook page where I am talking about this. So if you go to Facebook, you'll click this link. It'll direct you to my Rumble page where I talk about these big tech lines. Here's another one here. Here's this one. Your contact. This was when Dr. Armstrong of Texas talked about how hydroxychloroquine and saving people. He came to the Arkansas legislature when Asa Hutchinson was doing these stupid COVID lockdowns and told people through his own testimony, through his own work, how hydroxychloroquine was saving people. And it's bad enough that our Arkansas legislature ignored him. But the people who did, but again, YouTube banned my testimony of this guy who is an actual doctor who, again, did actual testimony. And this is the kind of stuff that Facebook would do too. They would oftentimes either hide your post, or you would post something and it would get a normal amount of people. Then you would post something political and it wouldn't get near as many posts. And it's because it was shadow banned. And I'm sure people that are looking at this have all kinds of stories of where they were put in Facebook jail for a day, 30 days. I think it's standard is 30 days, and sometimes it was a year, or their account would be deleted. That sort of thing. And then you would get all kinds of, junk from China or videos of made from crappy movies, say from Africa. The big thing that's trending right now, for some reason, I'm getting videos of people playing a crappy game where they get chased by dinosaurs and they do stupid things and they get eaten up because they run right into the dinosaur instead of hiding inside the house. So that's, for some reason, that's being propped around, and that's being promoted. So anyway, I wanted to talk. Part of the reason why I don't trust these big tech people, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, who seems to be doing better, but in reality, I think he's, again, a Johnny-come-lately. He should have really jumped on board years ago when Trump first had the election stolen from him. And yes, he's done a great job of buying off Twitter and reforming it, firing a lot of the leftists that are involved there. He recently, for those who don't know, has been really big about fighting against the United Kingdom and the government officials there who have allowed these sick, disgusting Muslim rape gangs, these pedophile rings, to kidnap and abuse thousands of children. And the United Kingdom has literally, in addition to already disarming their citizens, have not even allowed them to speak on the issue, and in many cases have jailed people who have brought up this issue. Tommy Robinson, I think, is, if you're familiar with him, he is he's a guy that has been talking about this. And the thing is they're big on the green energy stuff. Now, Elon Musk is supposed to be a part of Trump's cabinet in terms of the Doge issue regarding the spending of money. But I don't know how he's going to do that when he's so big on green energy and these stupid electric cars, and yet somehow, some way, Trump is vehemently against it. And this actually was big earlier. Biden is trying to push a lot of his green energy scams before he is removed from office, last-minute deals, which he shouldn't be able to do. And Donald Trump said this about one of the green energy scams, the windmill. And this is a video, and this is from Politico, which is a leftist website that pretends to be nonpartisan. But this is Trump's 1-minute speech regarding that issue.
We can talk about windmills. They litter our country. They're littered all over our country, like dropping paper, like dropping garbage in a field. And that's what happens to them, because in a period of time, they turn to garbage. Most expensive energy ever. They only work if you get subsidy. The only people that want them are the people that are getting rich off windmills, getting massive subsidies from the U.S. government. And it's the most expensive energy there is. It's many, many times more expensive than clean natural gas. So we're going to try and have a policy where no windmills are being built. You know, off the coast of New Jersey, they want to build like 200 windmills. The people are going crazy. Nobody wants them. They're dangerous. You see what's happening up in the Massachusetts area with the whales, where they had 2 whales wash ashore in, I think, a 17-year period. And now they had 14 this season. The windmills are driving the whales crazy.
Okay, let's not share that. I want to share this tab instead. So, yes, they are building windmills, and guess what? They're not just building them in blue states. They're building them right here in red state Arkansas. This is the group that is fighting that. It's Stop Windmill Farms in Boone County. Sorry about that. This was Donald Trump's full speech at Mar-a-Lago ahead of inauguration, which is a good thing. But I wanted to mainly focus on this energy issue. But yes, this is a group dedicated to fighting the windmills. They're already having a fighting issue regarding the Chinese crypto mining facility that was in Harrison. I think sometimes this is the same people. But yeah, they just posted about the dead whales. So here it is right here. A bunch of dead whales are now coming up because of the vibration from the noise regarding the windmill. So again, these environmentalists, which include big tech people like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and others, are actually doing more harm than good. And here's the video that talks about Trump's issue. The problem here is here's another version of his speech. Now, I think this is a bigger version of that. But yeah, join this group, even if you're not in this Boone County area or North Arkansas, because there's about 3 other places in North Arkansas where they're trying to build these stupid windmills. These green policies are in a neighborhood next to you. They are coming to a town near you, and you're not going to know about it. As a matter of fact, in Fort Smith, green policies are being pushed. This is by Joe McCutcheon, who is fighting in the Fort Smith area green energy policy. This is a lawsuit filed. I don't know the date of this lawsuit, but it was posted January 6th. And it's plaintiff Brian Wetsney, and he is suing the city of Fort Smith and Carl Gifkin in his capacity as city administrator. This is a civil action by the plaintiff Brian Wetsney in the Circuit Court of Sebastian County, Arkansas. That's, again, mainly northwest area, Fort Smith, right along the Oklahoma border, seeking to declare judgment regarding the unauthorized actions of the city of Fort Smith and Fort Smith City Administrator Carl Gefkin. Plaintiff alleges that the city administrator exceeded its authority by unilaterally binding the city to significant financial obligations with approval from the Fort Smith Board of Directors, sometimes referred as a board. What they did is they set up these green policies. Like Trump said, nobody wants these things. They want their energy bills lowered. They want their streets paved. They want, in many cases, these cities oftentimes have flooding areas that need to be fixed. They want crime reduced. And instead, these city officials, along with your local chamber of commerce and some of your other public-private partnership organizations, will set up these green policies and not even deal with the problems they're supposed to deal with. And then this is some images of some of the people here. Director of Sustainability, which they shouldn't even exist. I wish our Arkansas legislature, and I'll talk briefly about the Arkansas legislature, I wish what they would do is ban these positions, or say that if you're going to have these positions and you obviously don't need any more money from the state of Arkansas. Cut the funding to them the same way we're supposed to do if a city decides to be a sanctuary city for illegals. You deny them state funds. Because if they have money to waste on this stupid position, then obviously you don't need money for anything else. And again, this is Joe McCutcheon's link. I'll post a link to show this right here in just a little bit. 100% or nearly 100% vehicle electrification for government fleets and privately owned vehicles serve as power catalyst. They're wanting to force people to go to these Elon Musk lithium powered cars that burst into flames, don't work under certain circumstances, and probably worst of all, can be monitored by either businesses or government organizations. So, Carl Schwab, Bill Gates, these other depopulation people and their minions can monitor what you do in your car. Not just where you go, but how often you park, how much energy you use, that sort of thing. If they force this agenda in your town and they are doing it without your knowledge, this is the kind of stuff that you could be facing. Here's some more of the people here. Citizens First Congress. These are mainly leftists. The Citizen Climate Lobby, the Climate League. You'll see these kinds of organizations in a town near you. You probably just know about them. And then here's Metro Plan, an organization which I don't think should even exist. And the Arkansas Regional Planning Commission regarding greenhouse gases. So even though, again, we're a supposedly red state, we have these leftist green policies still being pushed on us. And there's just a picture of Joe McCutcheon dressed up there. Here's another memorandum. Climate reduction that we're going to be wasting money on. Green networks. Federal domestic assistance name. This is a grant done by our federal government. And what these city people will do is say, well, we're going to get federal dollars to do this, so it's okay. Number one, the first thing you should ask these officials is, why don't you have these federal dollars redirected to things that are needed, like reducing crime, like fixing streets, like lowering utility costs, like repairing any flooding in an area? So they instantly assume that the federal aid can't be redirected to anything else, which, by the way, is your tax money. You'll never find where they contacted any federal official and say, please redirect it, please get rid of this grant and put it to something else, something that's useful. As a matter of fact, most cases, they negotiate for these kind of grants. They help write them. And then here's a resolution, Metro Plan, EPA stuff, and then it's right back to the lawsuit. Anyway, that's a post by Joe McCutcheon. This is his Facebook page. And I really wish, again, our federal officials would do more about these type of globalist stuff. Hopefully, with Trump's efforts, they can at least get rid of grants like this. But it's going to be a long and arduous process. The Congress is already, especially the Senate, is already working on blocking some of Trump's nominees for cabinet positions. They already blocked a few. They're going to delay a lot of his policies. And here, Arkansas legislature, here's some good bills in the Arkansas legislature. And this is one regarding the data centers, the Arkansas crypto mining facility. This one's SB2 and SB4, both deal with fluoridation. But the Arkansas legislative session is going to start, and they are going to start January 13th. They're going to write bills, and some of it's going to concern these kind of things, everything from illegal immigration to gun rights to water fluoridation. All of that is going to be affected. and it's gonna be a massive effort by a lot of conservatives to make sure that good bills get passed and that bad bills be stopped. So I'll try to be focused on here. You can go to the Arkansas legislative website, go to where it says bills, and then I go to advanced search, and there you can click on the 95th General Assembly, which that's the assembly it's going to start. You can type in words. You've seen the things I've typed in, immigration, and see if there's any bill. There's none filed regarding that yet, at least to the Arkansas legislative website. Some people may announce they're going to bill, but it's not been officially filed yet. But do try to keep up with that as that session starts. Contact your legislators. I've contacted some who I think would at least try to listen to me, let them know that some bills that I like. I may look at some other. There's a bunch of bills that I don't like. There's one to legalize abortion, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't want to focus on the ones where it's kind of iffy, especially if it's really a conservative bill that you would think would pass, but is probably going to be delayed or sabotaged in some way. Just a reminder for folks who don't know, and this is some good news, Republicans still control the Arkansas legislature with what's known as a supermajority, which means if all Republicans were to agree on a budget, they could easily pass it without the Democrats have any say-so, and even a few Republicans could leave. We have a Republican governor. We're supposed to have a Republican attorney general, secretary of state, and yet it's going to be an uphill battle to do things like ban some of these Chinese crypto mining facilities, the aforementioned windmills, the benefits going to illegal aliens. There's Sarah Huckabee Sanders did an executive order. I think she's wanting to try to push it as an executive order regarding junk food. And yes, it may be government regulation, but it's also a government-sponsored program. And there may be some times where people may need to go to SNAP or other food benefits. But at some point in time, there needs to be at least some effort to get people off of that and to not have them be, 4, 5, 6 years not bothering to get a job and then eating food that's going to give them cancer and diabetes. Regardless of what RFK does with our food, I know there's some bills in Arkansas regarding food. You can even find that here. You go back, I think there was a food bill that was filed. Yes, there is. Let's see here. I saw it earlier. Arkansas Healthy Again. Oh, here it is, by Breonna Davis. That contains certain substances. And here you can actually click on the bill to see it. It becomes a PDF file. Share this tab and I'll show it here. Let's see here. Certain substances. So here it is. It's by Breonna Davis. It's also by Representative Pilkington. Manufacturing, selling, delivering, distributing, holding, or offering for sale a food product for human consumption that has the substances. And you look here, the substances. Let's see if it'll show these substances. I don't know if it does or not. Here it is. Polyplarabin, ethrozine, or red number 3, potassium bromate. So there's a bill file that's going to ban these items from being sold. And here, I'll put this in public so y'all can see that. Just as an example, that should lead to the PDF file that shows that. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's going to be debated. And it absolutely can affect you. Well, folks, before I leave, some of you may know tomorrow night there is supposed to be some massive winter storms coming our way. Now, if you live up in the north area, you're used to a foot of snow and still going to school. But here in Arkansas, when we get a millimeter of sleet or ice, things go bad. And so KRK4 who I know haven't done the best job on some issues regarding this. They do keep up with the weather. But Thursday night, Friday morning, temperatures are expected to drop to the teens and roads are expected to be icy. These are already some school closings. And I think they will try to update this, so you kind of want to keep up with what goes on. Be closed, and then it gives some time. So people need to tray. So Wednesday, I think some dorm students will have to travel home. Little Rock School District will close schools and offices Thursday 9th and Friday. So they're just going to close both days. North Little Rock School District will close schools and offices Thursday 9th. So Thursday, some places will close because they don't want people to be leaving early. And then Friday, it's supposed to be closed. So that's those school districts. Little Rock, North Little Rock, Pulaski County. I'm sure other school districts will let people know. But you for those few of you who don't know, there's already others. And you can see here, Stephanie Johnson has already posted our school is already closed for tomorrow and Friday. Some people are still going to have to go to work, so you'll have to check with your workplace. Russellville has canceled for the 9th and 10th. Someone's asking about Dardanelle, no school for Atkins. So this is probably one of the places to go to keep up with the school closing. You can probably also call. I remember when I was a little kid watching the news and seeing, it was one of the most exciting things to watch, to sit there in pajamas and wait for the schools to close. Because the public school system's a joke. It needs to be reformed. Thank goodness Arkansas learns as a small step in making sure that the school system's done. But there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of things that need to be done regarding the fixing of the school system. Well, folks, that's it. Follow me at Just the Right Angle on Rumble for more updates on what's going on. Subscribe. I will try to do this post every Wednesday at 12:35. I was a little late today, but again, hit the like button. Share this with others. Also, this will be made, edited, and then posted onto Podbean, so you can listen to that while you watch the Arkansas Razorbacks as they play basketball tonight, or whatever else that you do. Hunker down for tomorrow. Stay safe. Stay warm. And get wood for the fire. And, of course, I always leave this with a Bible verse: when the wicked rule, the people groan. We are making progress. We are making progress. We forced Mark Zuckerberg to have to change his ways. I think we forced Elon Musk to change his ways. We forced Donald Trump to get involved. But we need a lot more people to wake up on a national level and on a local level. We're doing a lot of good, but we got a long ways to go. Anyway, God bless. Y'all have a good day.